For 10 years, the U.S. government had been trying to catch terrorist number one, Osama bin Laden. However, each time, the leader of al-Qaeda managed to escape from the hands of justice. In September 2010, CIA agents finally had a chance to eliminate Osama. Terrorist number one directed al-Qaeda operations through indirect emails. Bin Laden did not use the internet or mobile phone after the events of 1998, when American intelligence services tracked him through satellite communications and bombed the base where he was. Bin Laden typed messages on a personal computer, and after that, they were saved to a USB flash card, which was then given to a trusted person, a courier, whose job was to find a way to send it to the right people. The American intelligence service was able to find one such courier. Unaware of surveillance, he led the CIA to Bin Laden's hideout in a suburb of Abbottabad, Pakistan. The main task of intelligence was to identify the person living in that shelter. Was that really the same culprit responsible for the 9/11 tragedy? They equipped a safe place to monitor the hideout, and after half a year, with the help of reconnaissance drones, they identified the leader of al-Qaeda. In March 2010, U.S. President Barack Obama met the commander of the Joint Special Operations Command, William McRaven, to discuss a plan to capture or eliminate bin Laden. One of the options was to bombard the house with the help of a B-2 Spirit. They could drop 32,900 kilogram bombs. But Obama rejected the plan due to potential civilian casualties and the inability to confirm afterward that bin Laden was indeed in the house. Another plan was to perform an attack together with Pakistani intelligence officers who would have been informed of the operation several hours in advance. However, this plan required additional training for the operatives, as well as more careful planning, which would entail a high probability of information leakage. As a result, the following plan of operation was approved. On May the 2nd, 2010, using stealth technology, two Black Hawk helicopters secretly crossed the Pakistani border. They carried two groups of DevGru fighters, 12 people each. Upon reaching bin Laden's hideout, the first group was to land in the courtyard and start the attack from the ground floor. The second group at that time would start the capture from the roof and conduct a sweep on the upper floors. It seemed that the plan was flawless. What could possibly go wrong? However, the weather interfered with the operation. As the helicopters hovered over the target, one of them was caught in a vortex ring caused by higher than expected temperatures and high fence walls. The pilot lost control. The helicopter hit one of the walls with its tail, and then the pilot landed in the yard, turning the helicopter on its side. The group had to urgently change the plan, unite, and storm the house from the first floor together. At about 1 p.m. local time, the operation began. The special forces blew up one of the walls of the building and broke through. They immediately came under fire. The same courier who had helped the CIA track down the hideout was now shooting at the operatives from the guest house. At the same time, the second group broke into the main building. They killed the courier's brother before he could get to a weapon, as well as the son of bin Laden, who tried to break through to the second floor. Upstairs, the operatives finally saw the target of that special operation. At the same time, bin Laden saw the operatives from the third floor. One of the commandos fired at him but missed, after which the terrorist ran into the room. The teams followed him. Upon breaking into the room, the group found the two wives of bin Laden, who tried to cover him with their bodies. One of the women shouted something in Arabic and moved her hand. It could have been a move to use an explosive device, so one of the operatives immediately shot her in the leg, and the women were pushed aside. Immediately afterward, a second operative shot Osama first in the chest and then in the head. There was an AKS-74U submachine gun and a Makarov pistol in the room, and bin Laden could have used them to open fire or take one of his wives hostage. That's how the most dangerous terrorist in the world was eliminated. However, that didn't mean the special operation was over. The operatives needed to take the body of bin Laden to confirm his identity. Some of the confirmation was conducted right there. Like bin Laden, the corpse was of the same height, 1 meter 93 centimeters. The operatives didn't have a tape measure, so a commando of the same height laid down next to him, and they compared the height. Besides, a photo of the body handed over to CIA headquarters for facial recognition matched 95%. And one of the wives, after the murder, confirmed it was indeed bin Laden. The commandos had to search the hideout and seize hard drives, flash drives, and documentation for further analysis. And only after that could they decide what to do with the crashed helicopter. After all, it had stealth technology, with the help of which the group passed unnoticed through the border of Pakistan. The technology could not have been left for study by another country's intelligence. Therefore, it was decided to blow up the helicopter. After that, a backup Black Hawk was called, which helped the group return from the combat mission. The Pakistani government raised fighter jets after they spotted something crossing their border. However, they got to the location of bin Laden after the entire Special Forces group completed the mission and left. The attack on the hideout was supposed to last 30 minutes. Looking back at the unforeseen circumstances, the final 38 minutes the Special Forces actually needed seemed to be beyond the plan. What happened next? On the same day, at 11:35 p.m., U.S. President Barack Obama made a televised statement about eliminating Osama bin Laden. And within a few minutes after the announcement, crowds of triumphant people gathered at the White House and the Pentagon. Twitter exploded with 5,100 messages per second at its peak. And what about the terrorist's body? After thorough identification of the body through DNA analysis in the laboratories of the Department of Defense and the CIA, a problem arose. No country in the world wanted to accept bin Laden's body for burial. The reasons for this could be different. One of them is that no one wanted to turn their country and burial place into a kind of terrorist shrine. Therefore, the body was transferred to the aircraft carrier Carl Vinson and buried in the northern part of the Arabian Sea. All required Muslim religious ceremonies were performed. The body was washed, wrapped in a white sheet, and placed in a special weighted bag. The officer read religious commentaries translated into Arabic. After that, the body was placed on a tilted board, and the body went into the sea.